Okay, so now we're continuing on page 175 in our Ultimate Math books on the black diamond. So let's get started. Stacy is storing cereal in boxes that measure 2 centimeters by 1 foot by 10 inches. I'm going to pause and draw that already. So they measure, let's say this is the 10 inches, this is the 2 centimeters, and this down here is my 1 foot. So pretty obviously already I know I'm going to have to convert before I even finish reading the question, because I'm working with a bunch of different units that don't go together, are not even the same kind of measuring. So if she's storing 12 cereal boxes, what is the total volume of them put together? So, all right, let's do this. So if we have 1 foot, the easiest thing I can do is just convert that to inches. So I'm just going to cross that off and write 12 inches, because that's really what I want to work with. Since I'm pretty much deciding I'm going to keep inches, I'm going to circle this one. Again, I love using different colors for geometry because it helps me keep track. And then I have 2 centimeters. So I know 1 centimeter is like 4/10 of an inch. So all I need to do is repeat that twice, right? Because 1 centimeter plus 1 centimeter, or 4/10 plus 4/10 is equal to 8/10, right? So that is what my answer is going to be down here, 0.8. So now what I need to do is figure out the volume of one of these boxes together. So the first thing I'm going to do, and I said you can use your calculator, so you can if you would like to, or I'm going to practice multiplying this the long way, but not for all of them for sure. So the first thing I'm going to do is show you how easy this is going to be if I use my properties of multiplication. So I have essentially 10 times 8/10 times 12. And when I see this 10 times 8/10, I should get really happy, because that means I don't have to do the long, hard way of decimal multiplication. It means my answer is probably not going to be a decimal either, which makes me super pumped. So this should look very familiar. We can draw a place value chart. We can plug our, oh my gosh, I'm going to try to do a place value chart. Ooh. Doing a place value chart backwards is also difficult. So we have 0.8. There we go. That's what I'm trying to show. 0.8. Multiply, slide to the left. Divide, slide to the right. So we are multiplying, so we're sliding to the left. Yes, this way. I'm sliding 1 space because there's only 1 0 in my 10. So my answer is going to be, if I move it over 1, it's going to be 8.0, or just 8. So now I'm left with 8 times 12. And I'm going to do this by multiplying 8 times 10, which is 80, right? Plus 8 times 2, which is 16. Yes, this way. Right? It's so hard to do. Why do I keep trying to do this backwards? No, pause. Bad Mrs. Benavides. Do it on your side. I keep trying to do it thinking that I will have magically gained the ability to multiply, add, subtract, and divide backwards, but it just is never going to happen. So I have here 12 times 8. 8 times 2 is 16. Carry the 1. 8 times 1 is 8 plus 1 is 9. So my answer here is 96. Get it together, Mrs. Benavides. So this is 96 inches cubed. So then it says, if she's storing 12 cereal boxes, what is the total put together? So all I need to do is multiply 96 times 12. So let's do that together. Multiply the 1. 6 times 2 is 12. Write it down, carry it up. Then we move it on over. 2 times 9 is 18, plus 1 is 19. Then everybody add a 0. Then we multiply the 1s, which is 6. multiply the tens, which is 9, add, and my answer is 1,152. But wait, I am not done yet. That is, oh wait, I am done. That's the volume of 12 of them put together, is 1,152. And we're using inches, so that'd be inches cubed. Awesome, right? I want you to try to do number 2 by yourself. I'm going to show you the answer in a second. Let's do number 3 together, because this is probably the most common one that you'll see, but it is a little tricky. So we basically have 3 boxes. What you need to do for this is find the volume of each individual box and then come back together to add them together. So it is a bit of a doozy. Especially when your board doesn't erase when you're at home. Okay, and you're using a sock as an eraser. That also probably doesn't help. So let's do this together. So I have one box like this. I'm going to do the actual boxes in pink. I have another box that looks like that. And a third and final box that looks like that. So that's where we're starting, right? Okay, so it says this right here is 10 feet. It says this right here, this distance, is going to be 11 feet. We don't know what this one is. We do know that this distance right here is 9 feet. We know that this right here is 6 inches. We know this right here is 4 feet. We know that this whole distance is 30 feet. And we know that this right here, and this right here, these are all 2 feet. All right, so this looks a little intimidating because there's a lot of working parts here, there's a lot of boxes, and there's a lot of math. Also, what makes this question kind of intimidating is that there's a bunch of different units. So first things first, we need to know that these are all different units, and we need to convert them. Do not pass go until you have converted. So I'm looking here, and I'm thinking that the easiest way to do this is just going to be to do this in feet. Even though one of them is in inches, I'm just going to change this to be 1/2 of a foot. Okay? So, because I know that 6 inches, and I've done this a couple times over the last couple of days, I know that 6 plus 6 is equal to 12. So that's how I know that 1/2 of a foot is 6 inches, which is what I have here. So that's going to be a 1/2 foot. Thank goodness I did not make this too hard for myself by adding in centimeters and kilometers and stuff. I have a funny feeling I started that way and was like, calm down, this is going to be this. So now let's move on to finding the volume of this one. All right, so this up here is 2 feet. I actually know that this down here is also 2 feet, right? So I'm going to multiply length times width times height. So I have 11 times 10 times 2. Not too bad, right? Remember our trick. If I must multiply 2 whole numbers with zeros, multiply the front digits like normal and add the O's. This is because we're just moving it over the place value system. Because it's base 10, each 0 then just moves it over 1 space to the left. So let's do it this way. 2 times 10, so 2 times 1 is 2, plus a 0 would be 20. So now I have, actually I'm going to do this differently because the commutative property says that I can do this in whatever order I want to. So I'm going to multiply 2 times 11 because I can do that really easy in my head. That's going to be 22 times 10 because I've used this one and I've used this one. Look at me using those math properties. So now I just need to add 0 because 22 times 1 is obviously 22. Add a 0, so my answer here is 220. Okay, so this box right here is 220 feet cubed. Remember, length times width times height, cubed 3, right? Okay, so now this next box is going to be tricky. I'm going to come back to that in a second. I'm going to go to this far one on the side. Because I have 9, this is still 2, and this is 4. So if this is 4, that means this one also is 4. I'm going to write that here just so we keep track of it. So now I'm multiplying 9 times 4 times 2. All right. So again, associative commutative property, I can do this in any order I want to. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 9, let's sing. 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 64, 72. So our answer here is 72. Okay, so my answer to this box over here, what did I write? Oh yeah, I wrote this. Oh, come on, Mrs. Benavides. The answer over here is going to be 72 feet cubed. And I want to explain what I did in my mind to double check, and I thought I made a mistake. So I thought I was seeing this 11, and I was like, oh, something's wrong, because the volume of this one has to be smaller than this one, and then I realized the actual number is 220 feet cubed. So this one is a smaller box, so as kind of a double check mental math thing, I should realize that this is smaller than this one, and this one should be somewhere in the middle, just as a way of assuring myself that my answer is correct or incorrect. All right, so let's do this last box. So this whole distance right here is 30 feet. So if this is 11 and this is 9, I want to figure out what this distance is here. So what I need to do is I need to do 30 minus 11 plus 9. So 11 plus 9 is 20. So 30 minus 20 is going to be 10. And I realize I wrote that the regular way. That's okay. So my answer here is going to be 10 feet. So then I need to multiply 10 length times my width. So that is 2, right? Times my height. And so what is my height here? Well, it's telling me that this right here is 1/2 a foot. Okay? So I have 1/2 of a foot plus 4 feet. 1/2 of a foot plus 4 feet. Because if I go up, I basically want, I wish I could do this on a better whiteboard. But I basically want the distance from here to here, right? I want the total length of here to here. So I need to add 4 plus 1/2 a foot. 4 feet plus 1/2 foot. That's probably the most tricky part. So if you did not get that, take a deep breath, try to explain it to yourself, ask questions, and realize that it's okay. So the answer to this is going to be 4.5. 4.5. So now what I need to do is I need to go 4.5. Whoops, that's the wrong way. 4.5 times 10 times 2. So I could multiply 10 times 2 first because that's pretty easy, but I'm actually going to multiply 4.5 times 10. If I move it over 1, my answer here is 45. If I multiply 45 times 2, my answer is going to be 90. So now I need to add 90 plus 220 plus 72. So my answer here is 382. I'm going to show